is a News 12 Now election update brought to you in part by Martin Boyd Christian Home.
Thanks for joining us for this campaign 2020 election update. I'm Danielle Moss. We go live now to News 12. Kenan Scott, who is at the Whitfield County Republican Watch Party, to give us an inside look as the polls and the votes are rolling in. Good evening, Kenan. How's it going?
Danielle, I am live in Whitfield County at the Republican Watch Party with Whitfield County Republican Chairwoman Diane Putnam. Diane, how are you?
Oh, I'm great. I'm just great tonight. I'm so excited.
Diane, when you look at what's going on tonight, how confident are you about the president winning tonight's election?
I'm very confident. I have been all along.
Are there any telltale signs that you think that President Trump is going to pull out a victory here?
I don't know about telltale signs, but I just feel very positive about it.
I know you were telling me before we got on air that you had a lot of merchandise that was on sale here, and a lot of it's gone.
Yes, now that is a telltale sign right there, because this whole room was filled with Trump shirts, hats, flags, signs, everything, bling bling. You know, we just had it all here. And now you see the room's emptied, just about.
So I know there's been a lot of talk, especially recently, about the idea of Georgia flipping blue. What do you have to say about that?
Well, there is a lot of talk about it, and people seem to want to make a big deal out of it because of our senatorial races. They just think that there's a chance there, but I don't think it will happen. It may be close, but I think we'll still be red.
So you don't think that in the Senate there's any chance that the Democrats might flip it?
I don't think so. It may be very close, but I don't think they will.
What's giving you that inclination? Are you thinking that because of just what you've seen or any polling that you've noticed?
No, I don't pay attention to the polls. So I feel the heartbeat of the people, the excitement and the enthusiasm that everyone has had for Trump. We have had this headquarters opened every day since July. I mean, Saturdays and Sundays every day. People have come in, they keep coming in, then they keep coming back, and no, the enthusiasm is just over the top. And the rallies that he holds, oh my goodness, how can you not see the momentum is in his favor?
Yeah, you know, this election, definitely there's a lot of enthusiasm on both sides, but how are you feeling? I mean, you just mentioned the rallies, but you're feeling really good about Republican enthusiasm in particular?
Yes, definitely I am, yes, yes.
And so this election is probably going to go on late, and you know we've noticed that it's probably going to go on the next couple days. Are you going to stay here and watch the end of the results?
Well, we're prepared to stay here tonight, all night if we have to, but I still don't think we'll know the results first thing in the morning. I really don't.
Well, I really appreciate it, Diane.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to Dalton and being with us today.
I'm reporting live in Whitfield County. Kenan Scott, News 12 Now.
Counties in Georgia are on track to meet the midnight deadline of their hand recount of the votes cast in the presidential election.
Yeah, big job. The deadline for certifying those election results is Friday. News 12's Kenan Scott joins us live in the studio with the latest from the Secretary of State's press conference today. Kenan.
Emily Andrews, state law requires the recount and audit of nearly 5 million votes to be completed before the county's certified results can be certified by the state. Gabriel Sterling, the state's voting system implementation manager, confirmed to reporters that the recount so far had found that President-elect Joe Biden's lead over President Trump had lessened to about 12,000 votes. Once the results have been certified, the losing candidate can still request a recount if the margin between the candidates remains within half a percentage point. Sterling says that so far the system is working as intended.
Is under our new law that was passed 2019 is a pre-certification audit. We chose to do a risk limiting audit. We chose a risk limiting audit of the presidential race with a zero risk limit, which means that we have to physically hand tally every ballot.
Sterling says that the state aims to make the final results of the recount public on Thursday. Reporting live in studio, Kenan Scott, News 12 Now.
Eastridge police say the man accused of shooting Eastridge Corporal Terry Prescott has been killed. The announcement comes after multiple law enforcement agencies did an extensive search for him by air and on the ground. News 12's Kenan Scott joins us now live from Catoosa County with the latest. Kenan.
Emily, Catoosa County Sheriff Gary Sisk confirmed that the suspect engaged officers several times with gunfire before being shot and pronounced dead at the scene. Suspect Christopher Cates engaged officers with a high-powered rifle, and it's now confirmed that he had one assault rifle and a pistol.
Police are asking for information on the shooting that happened yesterday on 8th Street that resulted in 3 children being injured.
Yeah, Violent Crimes Bureau investigated that scene, and we go now live to News 12's News 12's Kenan Scott for those details. That's our top local story.
Emily, Andrew, it was right in this area on 8th Street where 3 children were injured in a shooting that police believe to be a targeted incident. The shooting happened yesterday at around 11 a.m. where police responded to a report of shots fired on 200 West 8th Street. Upon arrival, officers located several shell casings on the roadway. They were then notified that 3 victims with non-life-threatening gunshot wounds had arrived at a local hospital. The victims were children ages 2, 4, and 9. When you hear about the national conversation regarding gun violence in America, one of the many proposed solutions is the arming of teachers in schools. Well, that's exactly what was being discussed here at an Okeechobee County School Board meeting, where they voted unanimously to move forward with a motion that will allow teachers to carry firearms. The Florida State Athletic Hall of Fame is hallowed ground on the FSU campus, celebrating the legacy, tradition, and values that come from participating in Seminole athletics. The new 2019 inductees bestowed their wisdom onto current athletes, offering advice for the next generation who seek to carry on the torch.
The founder of the Scottsboro Boys Museum in Jackson County, Alabama, is raising money to remodel the church, which is the facility's home. The museum also has a local connection. News 12's Kenan Scott has the story.
The historical Scottsboro Boys Museum and Cultural Center on West Willow Street is hoping to make some major renovations. Sheila Washington, founder, director, and tour guide of the museum, says that fundraising efforts for the renovation started in December, marking the museum's 10th anniversary. However, due to the start of the pandemic in early spring, initial fundraising was quickly stopped in its tracks. The story of the Scottsboro Boys has a local connection. 9 black teenage boys, 4 of them from Chattanooga, were falsely accused of raping 2 white women traveling through Jackson County by train in 1931. Chattanooga historian Linda Moss Mines explains the local significance of the case.
Most of these boys have family connections to the Chattanooga region, and because of this story's prominence, not only from a social issue standpoint, but also from the legal ramifications of this case, it has always been a case that I think Chattanooga has been interested in, and that we need to make certain the Chattanoogas are aware of.
Founder Sheila Washington says that a GoFundMe account has been set up for donations, and that she's excited to modernize the museum.
So this whole church on the inside is going to be changed into a modern facility as a museum. And it took a while to get here. But when I thought about our 10th anniversary, I didn't think small, I thought big. So we had a banquet to kick off the fundraising. And now we have a GoFundMe account. And if you could give $5, $10, $15 to our GoFundMe account, every dollar helps.
Washington says that the story of the Scottsboro Boys is one of historical significance, and that she hopes that the public will come out to learn more about the case once museum renovations are completed. Reporting in Scottsboro, Kenan Scott, News 12 Now. For Mike Martin Jr., it's no secret that greatness runs in the family. After his father's 40-season run that saw 17 College World Series appearances, 8 ACC championships, and an induction into the FSU Hall of Fame, the new head coach undoubtedly has big shoes to fill. But Coach Martin has big plans for the Seminoles, hoping to modernize the team to make them even more competitive as they enter this new era.
You know, I took bits and pieces from a lot of the guys that I played for, and it kind of made me into the person that I am. My skill set when it comes to coaching, and not afraid to tell kids that not exactly what they want to hear, and but it's all in the name of winning and making them the best player they can be.
I think it's more of the off-the-field stuff where you really see a change. We're really getting involved in the mental health and the mental side of the game, and that's something I've really never experienced being in college. We're really taking that seriously.
Along with a winning philosophy, Coach Martin has brought some new faces to the coaching staff, with pitching coach Jim Bellinger and assistant coach Mike Metcalf.
I'm around Metcalf more just being a hitter, but I can tell that Jimmy's doing a lot of good stuff with the pitchers. They're working hard, and I think he's bringing sort of a new light to them, and they're full of energy these days, and I think he's going to do a really good job with them this year.
Coach Martin has been noted for his special relationship with the team, taking time to build a rapport with each player. He encourages his new coaches to do the same, extending their relationships with players beyond baseball.
I think it's more of that personal relationship that really, makes an impact on a player's life rather than, things just involved with baseball. And I think that's one thing that Coach Martin's really tried to do is bring guys in that care about the player, off the field and not just on the field.
Chase, it's his team, but he's with those pitchers nonstop. So they're in very good hands. From an offensive standpoint, you got guys like, Reese Albert that have been around the program that know, what we expect and the amount of effort that we put into things. So it's kind of a little bit of both. You combine that with the coaching staff, and we kind of have stepped it up, a little bit energy-wise and intensity level. It's made for a good fall and early spring.
Despite the changes of leadership going into the 2020 season, the culture of camaraderie is enough to bind the Seminoles together. A theme not too uncommon in Seminole sports, Coach Martin hopes to support and challenge his new team in order to continue the tradition of excellence.
But this year we've got Chase Haney still here, back for his 5th year, and he's one of my best friends. And it's great to see him assume the leadership role. And honestly, most of the juniors, myself, CJ, Connor Grady, Jonas Galaro, all those guys are assuming that sort of role just because we've been here together for the past 3 years.
Being the captain of this team is something I really take pride in, and I have to show up every day and be consistent, and bring that energy just to, kind of bring everyone together, make sure we're on the right path, going into the season.
As for Coach Martin, his focus lies on moving the team forward toward greatness.
Well, I wanted, to continue a lot of the things that, Levin put in place, but I want to modernize it. I want to get more into analytics. I want to recruit earlier. I want guys to understand, when their parents to understand that if they choose Florida State, they're choosing, sure, a brand and, great tradition, but they're also going to be, updated techniques and things that we're going to utilize throughout to make them, the best person and player that they can be.
I'm Kenan Scott for Noles All Access.